Harry's wife. The Sadim touch. She fails at everything, part 2. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, and you join me for a continuation of the examination of the various clusterfucks and shitfests that are generated by Harry's wife. I'm not listing the sort of individual instances of her shithousery, but rather the various things that she's tried her hand to and failed at. Before I continue with the examination, let us pose this question. Why? Why does she have the Sadim touch? First of all, it's simply because she's a talent-free zone. A humorless, talentless, boring individual. But that's only part of the equation. If she were to recognise that she wasn't extraordinary, that she wasn't fantastic or brilliant, then she would lead a mundane life, but one that would be satisfying. She could, of course, done so within the auspices of the royal family, being told where to go, turn up, be polite, listen to people, indulge in some small talk, open the factory, present the award, whatever it might be, join in with the charitable stuff, and away you go. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. All part of being royal. Accordingly, not necessarily having an array of talents is not something that would necessarily hold somebody back in certain roles. You only have to look at certain members of the royal family and realise it's not exactly a cauldron of achievement and talent, but rather individuals who understand the nature of the provision of service. However, with Harry's wife, that could never ever happen, because she's utterly deluded. Her narcissism causes her to believe that she is the centre of the universe, that all eyes must always be on her, because she's captivating, beautiful, fascinating, this colossus that strides the world, that she is this urbane individual who always has something meaningful to say, that no matter what the words are that fall from her lips, they impart such consequence, that they convey matters of moment with a formidable magnitude. She believes that whatever she comments upon ought to be reported upon. She believes that whatever she turns her hand to is ultra successful, that she is a brilliant podcaster, writer, potential politician, bananatarian, and philanthropist. Her narcissism causes her to believe all of these things so that she continues to behave in the way that she does to assert control over the maximum number of people possible, drawing the huge amounts of fuel that comes from that, along with gaining character traits and residual benefits. In other words, if her narcissism did not delude her, she would not function in the way that she does. Thus, handicapped by this delusion, although of course she doesn't see this, she pursues these various roles in life, believing that, well, that was another great success, when in actual fact, everybody else is there, slack-jawed, eyes staring, shaking their heads, wondering what the fuck was that. She breezes through all of this. And of course, she recognizes where criticism comes. She recognizes where numbers are not as good as they ought to be. But remember, as I've explained in parts passim, her narcissism will never ever let her accept that she's at fault, and any failure is as a consequence of something else. Only recently, you have had that encapsulated with her complaint that they've been desperately unlucky because of COVID, economic straightening, Prince Philip's illness, and the Queen dying. Nothing to do with the fact that what she produces is utter dross, and everything to do with it's always something else that causes a problem for her. Accordingly, it is a combination of being a talent-free zone and the delusions of her narcissism that causes her to have this Sadim touch. But let us now examine more examples of it so that you can understand the growing list of catastrophic clusterfucks that she has engaged in. Next, we have the podcaster. Somehow managed to pump out 12 episodes and a Christmas special of utter beige dross following 2 years of waiting. Archetypes ended up cancelled after just 1 season, which was basically a much derided personal vendetta against words used to describe her. Couldn't be asked to conduct all of the interviews, adopted a telephone sex worker voice, resulting in Spotify pulling the deal amidst people losing their jobs as a consequence of profligate spending on towering shitfests like Archetypes, with the sweet corn on the top being Bill Simmons labelling her and the ginger poodle fucking grifters. The docu-series maker. 6 episodes of the world's longest whingeathon using footage unrelated to them in a succession of pot shots at the royal family, all coated in lashings of beige, resulting in Netflix, and I'm paraphrasing, saying, "Sort your shit out or you're out." The caring family member excluded her old and infirm father, her half-brother and her half-sister, excluded her in-laws, and prevented her own children from having any form of meaningful relationship with grandparents, uncles, aunties, and cousins. Succeeded there, didn't she? The foodie has banana bread baked by other people, leverages off Corey Vitiello. 1 minute she's a vegan, and the next she's roasting a chicken. Then she's a vegan again, but now she's flipping burgers in a men's health video shoot which looked like a wannabe porn star is doing her best attempt at making grilling look sexy whilst hosting said grill in a crack den. No erections were generated during the making of that video. The awards. The Gracie Award for Top Entertainment Podcast Host. For a podcast that gets potted by Spotify and where she didn't actually host all of the interviews. The Nipple of Grope Award for exposing structural racism within the royal family by running away from it and then claiming they never said that there was any racism, so what on earth then did they expose? The NAACP Award for work on causes related to social justice and equity, apparently generated by Harry demanding, "Give us the ingredients" to Big Pharma, and Harry's wife dressing as a fridge on stage by Valentino. The Change Champions Award, because they've decided to only have 2 children. Given the level of speculation about said children, it's questionable whether that award should have been issued at all. Women of Vision Award, granted when she showed no vision at all by generating worldwide mockery in creating the car chase that never was. Naturally, a multiplicity of paid awards, as she could never ever win one based on actual achievement and talent. The Cover Star, posed with her hairdresser on a bought front page for Time magazine. Appeared as a glaring AI-generated bot on the cover of Cut. Rictus grinned her way through various appearances for Vanity Fair and only achieved front-page status on People and Hello on multiple occasions as a consequence of the liberal dosing of PR dollars. PR representation. Gets potted by Sunshine Sachs for being a shitty client. The USO Tour. Humiliated during a stage appearance on a USO tour as nobody wanted to be next to her, nobody wanted to stand near to her, nobody wanted to dance with her or even acknowledge her ridiculous existence. Those are just a few of an extensive list of failures. Whatever she tries to do, she fucks up. Whatever she tries to turn her hand to, it ends up being ridiculed, poorly attended, bashed, and not repeated. The only things that she has succeeded at are being infamous and making money, And that's only because of who she ended up marrying, and nothing to do with her own hard work, talent, or brilliance. All of this is generated by the fact that she is a talent-free zone who functions as a consequence of her deluded narcissism. She has the Sadim touch, and she's not finished yet. Can you think of other things that she turned her hand to that she completely failed at? If so, why not hose the comments section with them? I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.